Hello, this is the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. President Tô Lâm receives U.S. ambassador. Studying and following Uncle Ho's example in whole military. Vietnam calls for continuous implementation of the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. On the afternoon of June 13th at the Presidential Palace, President Tô Lâm received U.S. Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to Vietnam, Mark Napper. On behalf of the U.S. leaders and people, Ambassador Napper respectfully congratulated President Tô Lâm on being elected as the state president of Vietnam. He reaffirmed the United States' consistent commitment to supporting a strong, independent, self-reliant, and prosperous Vietnam. President Lâm asked the U.S. diplomat to convey his sincere thanks to U.S. President Joe Biden for his congratulations. President Tô Lâm vowed that Vietnam always considers the U.S. as a partner of strategic importance and is ready to work closely with the U.S. to develop the bilateral comprehensive strategic partnership in a more effective and practical manner on the basis of respecting each other's independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and political institutions, thus bringing benefits to their people and contributing to peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the region and the world. The U.S. ambassador stressed that the U.S. supports the central role of ASEAN in the regional structure and will continue to promote the ASEAN-U.S. Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and the Mekong-U.S. Partnership. He added that the U.S. will continuously coordinate with Vietnam in solving regional and international issues of mutual concern, thus actively contributing to peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the region. A delegation of the Communist Party of Vietnam, led by head of the Party Central Committee's Commission for Information and Education, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, is paying a working visit to China from June the 11th to the 15th at the invitation of the Communist Party of China Central Committee. The visit aims to enhance political trust, realize high-level common perceptions, and Vietnam-China joint statement, deploy cooperation agreements between the CPV Central Committee's Commission for Information and Education and the CPC Central Committee's Publicity Department for the 2024-2028 period. On the morning of June 13th, the head of Vietnamese delegation had a meeting with Mr. Wang Hening, member of the Standing Committee of the CPC Central Committee's Political Bureau and chairman of the National Committee of the Chinese People's National Political Consultative Conference. He stated that the Vietnamese party and state always view developing relations with China as a strategic choice and a top priority in Vietnam's foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, and multilateralization and diversification of external relations. He called on both sides to maintain and enhance strategic discussions and all-level exchanges, continue effectively implementing the important directions and high-level common perceptions and Vietnam-China joint statement signed cooperation documents. Regarding the East Sea or South China Sea internationally issue, the Vietnamese official asked the two countries to comply with the high-level common perceptions, put themselves in each other's positions, respect legitimate and legal interests of each side, strive to control properly settled differences by peaceful means in line with international law. The host held that cooperation between the two parties and countries have entered a new stage with a new level defined after two mutual visits by the two parties' general secretaries. The same day, the delegation held talks with Mr. Li Shilei, Secretary of the CPC Central Committee's Secretariat and head of the CPC Central Committee's Publicity Department. The two sides discussed the implementation and communications-related tasks in the 2023 Vietnam-China joint statement. They also worked out the orientations for enhancing ties in the time ahead. During the visit, the CPV delegation joined Chinese experts and scholars in a seminar to exchange experience in communications and information for foreign affairs services. Moving on to noticeable military defense news. On June 13th in Hanoi, the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense held a conference to review 3 years of implementing Conclusion number 01 of the Politburo and 2 years of implementing Resolution number 847 of the Central Military Commission. General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense, chaired the conference. After 3 years of implementation, the whole military have directed the completion of assigned tasks and come up with many innovations, achieving practical results, while studying and following President Ho Chi Minh's thought, morals, and lifestyle. Promoting the virtues of UNCLOS soldiers and fighting individualism has come from the self-awareness of each officer and soldier, contributing to successfully implementing political tasks of agencies, units, and the whole military, building transparent, strong, and exemplary party organizations, and building regular and exemplary units. General Zhang affirmed that over the past 3 years, officers, party members, and the masses in the whole military have promoted a high sense of responsibility and studied and followed President Ho Chi Minh's thought, morals, and lifestyle by specific actions, surmounted all hardships, and successfully fulfilled all entrusted missions, continuing to beautify the good virtues of UNCLOS soldiers in the new era. In the coming time, Minister Zhang asked officers and soldiers in the whole military to foster the achieved results, continue to strictly grasp and implement Conclusion number 01 and Resolution number 847, and follow the 7-dare spirit of General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. The whole military needs to actively study, research, and creatively apply Ho Chi Minh's thought to the whole people defense disposition and military building, contributing to fulfilling its advisory role to the party and state concerning military and defense affairs, focus on researching, supplementing, and perfecting theoretical thinking on military and defense affairs, and building a strong military in the new context, promoting its core role in building the whole people defense disposition in combination with the whole people's security disposition, making the study and follow of UNCLOS thought come into daily life and activities of soldiers. At the conference, the Ministry of National Defense announced the decision to award certificates of merit of the Minister of National Defense and certificates of merit of the Chairman of the General Political Department to collectives and individuals who have made outstanding achievements in studying and following President Ho Chi Minh's thought, morals, and lifestyle, and promoting the virtues of UNCLOS soldiers, resolutely fighting individualism in the new situation. On the afternoon of the same day, at the Ministry of National Defense headquarters, Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Tân Cương, Chief of the General Staff and Deputy Defense Minister, chaired a conference to approve the project on organizing military parades in celebration of the 80th anniversary of the founding day of the Vietnam People's Army, the 35th anniversary of the Whole People's Defense Festive Day, 80 years of August Revolution, and the National Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Under the project, the military parade will be held solemnly, safely, and economically, while the participating forces are elite, compact, and modern, demonstrating the unity and regularity of the People's Armed Forces, cultural identity, and the Vietnam's aspiration for peace. The project also affirms that agencies and units will perform their functions and tasks to ensure combat readiness, strictly control national airspace, waters, border gates, and border lines to ensure safety for the celebration activities. General Cương directed relevant agencies and units to urgently deploy preparation work, especially mobilizing human resources, weapons, and equipment, and proactively establishing military parade formations to start training. He assigned the Military Training Department of the General Staff to receive comments at the conference and fine-tune the project, while seeking opinions from ministries and agencies from the local to central levels to complete the project, then submit to the Standing Board of the Central Military Commission, Ministry of National Defense leaders before sending to the Prime Minister for approval. Also on June the 13th, Senior Lieutenant General Phùng Sĩ Tấn, Deputy Chief of the General Staff and Head of the Expo Organizing Committee, chaired a conference to thoroughly brief the task of the Organizing Committee and approve some contents of subcommittees. This year's Expo attracted great attention from domestic and international businesses. So far, about 85 companies from 22 countries have agreed to participate in the expo. The Ministry of National Defense booths will be placed at 7 indoor and 1 outdoor sections, displaying hundreds of products such as weapons, explosives, high-tech weapons, technical logistic products. Senior Lieutenant General Phùng Sĩ Tân requested relevant agencies and units to continue to research and complete plans. Members of the organizing committee and subcommittees were asked to regularly review assigned tasks, firmly grasp implementation progress, and coordinate closely for Success Expo. On June the 12th local time, an intersectoral working group for Vietnam's participation in UN peacekeeping operations, led by Lieutenant General Phạm Trường Sơn, Deputy Chief of the General Staff, visited and worked with local authorities and participated in many activities at the UNCLOS mission in RBA. The party and national flags of Vietnam are floating in this distant land of Africa. Not only local adults, but also children sing the song about Vietnam and its people to welcome UNCLOS soldiers. Here, with love and spirit of mutual support, the Vietnamese peacekeepers have made positive contribution to the life of locals through practical mass mobilization activities.
And thank you very much for your team who are working with us here. We appreciate. We hope that Vietnam should remain with us here forever.
It is the learning space for hundreds of students at Ninh Giặc School, RBA. From now on, local students will have a better educational environment thanks to the special gift of 2 classrooms and a spacious mess hall given by Vietnam's engineering company Rotation 2. When seeing the national flags of Vietnam, our students are very happy and excited. Previously, our 6th and 7th grader had to share one classroom. Now they have their own classrooms, so we're very happy. The boat of Vietnam's engineering company Rotation 2, given to locals in My Giặc village, will be used for fishing, travel, and rescue activities during the rainy season. Additionally, the Vietnamese peacekeepers also utilized materials provided by agencies of the mission to repair vehicles for My Giặc villagers. On this occasion, the delegation visited and worked with local leaders and authorities. Vietnamese peacekeepers receive high appreciation of locals for their contribution to peace and life of people in RBA. The warmth and love for locals are the priceless legacy that UNCLOS soldiers left in the hearts of the local people and authorities. Coming up next, Vietnam calls for continuous implementation of the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. Vietnamese contemporary artworks promoted in Switzerland. The 34th meeting of the state parties to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS 34 in short, was held in New York City from June the 10th to the 14th. The Vietnamese delegation, led by Permanent Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyễn Minh Vũ, attended the meeting. Addressing the meeting, the Vietnamese official emphasized the role and importance of the convention as the Constitution of Oceans, a comprehensive legal document that regulates all activities of countries in the field of sea and oceans. It is also an important basis for the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goal 14 on the conservation and sustainable use of oceans, seas, and marine resources. Vietnam called on member states to continue implementing the 1982 UN clause with a goodwill spirit. Regarding the East Sea or the South China Sea international issue, Deputy Minister Nguyễn Minh Vũ suggested member countries implement maritime policies responsibly and legally, work together to ensure peace, stability, prosperity, and sustainable development. He affirmed that a peaceful and stable environment to serve the sustainable development in the East Sea can only be guaranteed when countries establish their waters in accordance with the 1982 UN clause. During the photo exhibition to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the signing of the Geneva Accords, the Vietnam Fine Arts Mobilization Committee brought to Switzerland many works of art by Vietnamese artists to promote the country's art and culture. At the headquarters of the Vietnam delegation in Geneva, the artworks made of many materials are displayed, attracting the attention of international friends as well as the overseas Vietnamese community. This is a rare opportunity for them to admire and enjoy cultural and artistic works from Vietnam. Along with Vietnamese artists, this event also featured a French painter, Dominique de Miscold, who has special sentiments for Vietnam and has remarkable works of art and exhibitions about Vietnamese life and culture. In the coming time, the Vietnam Fine Arts Mobilization Committee will continue to coordinate with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to promote the country's image to international friends through art. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at qpvn.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.